It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here today to speak from the perspective of TIP's nonprofit community partner. As already been explained, I work for Bailey-Boushay House. We have had numerous TIPS interns come and help us during the summer. Their impact has been absolutely incredible. Each summer, TIPS interns provide invaluable support to local nonprofits. These programs, in turn, are better able to meet the vital needs of our community. This happens entirely because of TIPS. I know that every nonprofit partnering with TIPS would praise their intern as the hardest working and most dependable teenager that they had ever met. What a testament to the mission and commitment of TIPS. I will be brief, but I'd like to start with a definition. This is a definition that would not be familiar to Merriam or Webster, since it comes from a book called The Devil's Dictionary by Ambrose Bierce. Mr. Bierce was born on June 24th, 1842, and he was last seen in the vicinity of Chihuahua, Mexico in 1914, apparently in the company of Pancho Villa. Interesting background. Bierce is an author known for his dark, acerbic wit and biting social commentary, a kind of cross between Mark Twain and Edgar Allan Poe. So what a pleasant surprise to find an entry in Bierce's dictionary that was appropriate not only to this occasion, but one I can actually read out loud. The definition in question is that of youth, a noun. According to Bierce, youth is, quote, a period of possibility when Archimedes finds a fulcrum. How perfect, a period of possibility. It contains both promise and risk. How will the fulcrum tip the balance during this time of possibility? Toward a path of engagement and the ability to help the world be a better place, or to a life of isolation and possibly self-destructive or antisocial behavior? I mention the latter because of a time that I spent during a prior career counseling juvenile offenders. These were teens whose life had tipped in the wrong direction, often due to circumstances beyond their control. They nevertheless had committed a crime, and it was my goal to help them understand the consequences of what they had done. I dislike the word juvenile. It carries an implication of something below consideration. It also seems so indefinite, like so many age-related terms, be it child or infant. Teen at least has the benefit of describing a span of years, presumably from 13 to 19. But I defy you to make an accurate generalization about this group. Young adult is the term I used when working with those who are categorized as juveniles. I stressed to them that becoming an adult, young or otherwise, required the ability to assume responsibility. Some were able to do this, and I truly believe they were better for it. Unfortunately, many others were not. Maybe it's because teens are in this indeterminate period of possibility that Bierce describes. Maybe the fulcrum hasn't tipped the balance yet. While this analogy is an oversimplification, I do know that teens in public service favorably impacts, dare I say tips, the balance in the lives of many young adults. And yet this is only part of the TIPS success story. I fear I have shortchanged the community partners who make up the second part of the TIPS equation. I hope they will forgive me. TIPS enhances the work of every community partner represented here at this luncheon. Take a look at the nonprofits listed in your program, and you will see a stunning range of good work being done. In this regard, each summer, clients and residents at Bailey-Boushay House come to know a mature, reliable, and compassionate young adult who is willing to approach them in a supportive and non-judgmental manner. There are no words to explain the light that a TIPS intern brings to those at Bailey who are sick, homeless, and in some cases approaching the end of their life. Yes, the young people that TIPS screens, trains, and pays are teenagers. But teenager doesn't define them other than by their chronological age. In my estimation, they have earned the distinction of being called a young adult in the very best sense of that word. TIPS, again, has served to make that possible. To each and every one of you who support TIPS, and on behalf of all of the community partners, I say thank you.